Here we are.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. And look who I got. I got Terry from Holding Your Space in this space.
Yay. Thank you for
Yay.
having me on, Danny.
Oh my gosh, it's been a long time in coming. Let me just
Yeah.
say that.
Well, I know. I love your show and I love your energy. And like I said when I met you when we did a thing together, um, it was like you're it's like I grew up with you. All my girlfriends growing up, they're brothers. It's like that's you. It's so
Oh, well,
hilarious.
yeah,
So
thanks.
yeah.
And
Nice
your
to meet you.
energy too feels like you're going over to somebody's house that you've known forever and you're
Oh,
sitting in a kitchen having a cup of tea or something,
yeah.
just chit-chatting about higher level things.
Aw,
It's awesome.
thanks.
It's really comforting and calming, and I think that's what we really need a lot of times, especially these days.
That's high praise. Thank you, and I will accept it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's a big one,
I know,
and
right?
I will accept it. That's
I
I'm
had to
working
think
on.
about that.
Yeah, I'm
We
working on that.
we were talking about that. I've got a one of St. Michael's swords that I'm running around town with lately. So
Yeah, I saw you had a show on today with Annie Bear,
Mhm.
which is so good. And the show that we did, we were raising money for Kamala
Mhm.
and Tim Walz, and so um, it it was great that we got to hook up and read. And we were doing live shows and reading for people, and the free reading I gave away, well, that I offered, Annie Bear got it. So this is, I mean, I'm like, uh, I don't know who's going to be reading for who on that one.
It's gonna be so much fun. You guys are gonna have so much fun. She's a
It's going to be
shaman. She studied
good.
she studied to be a shaman as a child, and she's just you guys are just gonna have a blast together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kismet.
So, and your show, that what you guys were talking about is so really, really relevant. And so I'm ashamed right now that we're going to bring it down into politics. No, no, no. So tell me a little bit about how um, why you started a YouTube channel, why you thought you felt that need to do that. I'm curious.
Um, I think that I was being obnoxious in the chat rooms because it was, you
One of
know, I
those.
couldn't stop. It was just like, and you people that are watching this, start your shows because, and so many have, and that's how we get going, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I thought, well, I'm coming up with the same stuff or something different, and I, I was just like, I was so excited and I was having so much fun with it, and I thought, I'm gonna have to start my own channel because nobody will have me on theirs anymore if I do. But yeah, yeah, that was primarily it. I was having too much fun.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, you and Lisa, um,
Lisa
she
Smith.
was obnoxious in the chat too, and she had to start her own channel.
She's
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, a lot of us. Um, but seriously, I couldn't stop learning about this stuff. It was like, when the pandemic hit
mhm,
and we could go on YouTube and get all this information, all these incredible teachers. I couldn't get enough. I
yeah,
was just having so much fun. And I feel like it's just opened up a beautiful window for people,
yeah,
you know? It's just like it's kind of a craving. Once you get into it, you're like, "Oh, give me more."
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, spiritual crack. So,
And what was your history before this? I mean, were you a closet reader, and you wouldn't show anybody, or you showed people, or?
Well, no, I was the odd child. I had, I saw angels when I was little, and my mom was very metaphysical. So that was nice. My dad was Catholic, and I'm a cradle Catholic, but
You're a what Catholic?
cradle, cradle Catholic.
Cradle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was like, but my mom was very metaphysical. And so we were going to psychics and we believed in reincarnation, but we weren't allowed to say anything to the priest or the sisters about it. So, and I joined a place called the School of Metaphysics. And they had quite a few places in Missouri and Illinois and all around the country. Anyway, um, I think I was 12 when I started going to school there and studying. So I had like a 4-year degree in metaphysics before I graduated from high school. So I was an oddball. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I want to have that kind of childhood.
Oh, well, you rebel against whatever you get, right?
Yeah. That's.
So so when I was 17, I was like, that's it. I'm going to be normal. And and yeah, so I just, you do Buddhism, you do unity, you do Catholicism, you do it all. And I just kept searching. But and then you have kids and you get busy, you're working. You go through that period of your life where you're really dedicated to
Yeah.
getting getting to bed every night, really. I mean, you've got so much going on. How are
Exactly.
you gonna fit one
Yes.
more thing in? Though I meet people, a lot of people now that are doing it, the metaphysics, as well as raising their children, and it's like with grace. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. But yeah, so now is a good time for me to be doing this. So
Hmm.
I jumped back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you listened to your inner voice. Jumped back in.
Yeah, the screamer. It was the screamer.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there, girl.
Sometimes those inner voices can be pretty dang loud.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they kinda knock you over the head until you do
Right.
what you really want to do.
Right. Right. So I didn't have any screaming saying get onto YouTube. It was just like, oh well, this will be a good way to keep practice, because with COVID happening, I was working at I got a job at a metaphysical store. When I moved from LA to where I am, I got a job there, and then they
Yeah.
shut their doors, and I went, and so all my tarot reading um, places shut down for me. And so I go, oh, uh, I can read politics because I'm watching Linda G and Third Eye Champagne, and I
Yeah.
go, I can do that. I'll just practice reading politics,
Yeah. Wow.
and
Well,
then and now look, I'm still
yeah.
reading politics.
Well, yeah, it's amazing. Linda was one of the first readers that I started watching in Third Eye, and, and I just thought, talk about down home and walking into somebody's living room. I
Yeah,
mean, she was so easy. I was watching you, Kim Copeland, Whimsy. I mean,
yeah.
there's so many readers that I was watching, and I was like, "Oh, wow." And then I got a little too vocal, so here I am.
And then you got
Like
a
a
little
pretty
what?
bird, a little too vocal.
Oh, a little too vocal. See, and I don't do a lot of live shows, although that may be changing. But um, so I don't see a lot of the chat. I don't get into a lot of that, and I don't jump on live shows because I've got other things going on.
Sure.
So I can watch it at the late at night or sometime anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing that I find just fascinating is the growth that is afforded with this community, in this community, via YouTube. It's like, I mean, I think I've grown metaphysically, because I mean, we grew up in the same state, but I didn't know anything about any metaphysical school. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So, I've always just kind of bumbled around with it in my own way until, I guess, until like YouTube showed up
Yeah.
for me. And then it
Wow.
kind of really supercharged what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, the pandemic was such a reset for
Mm.
everybody. It was really amazing. And it, and this group here on YouTube, everybody lifts everybody up. So it's, for that, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the people that are here, I mean, the people that are in the chat, I'm sure a lot of the people that view you are, like amazingly gifted.
Oh,
And yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
why aren't you reading? Because I mean, they're probably, more tapped in than I am. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, there's some that are just phenomenal. But
yeah,
the thing about this, where we are, and hopefully I can stream this together a little bit, is that th- there is a, a a movement to moving towards a higher vibrational, higher dimensional awareness. And you were talking about how COVID, how it shut us down and made us, shut down part of us so that we could expand into a different level of consciousness. Because our physical lives were kind of, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that. So our higher level of consciousness kind of grew, not getting into politics, but a little bit. But the political situation that we were in that time too also constrained us. So we had to grow even faster and higher.
yeah.
Um, and so it's, we're just, I know so many people are feeling it, but we're just like cracking open, and it's super exciting where we're going.
It really is, isn't it? Yeah. It was so divisive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Everything was so divisive about it that you had to just stop and say, well, then who am I at my core? Am I
right.
this or am I that? And are you this and are you that? And now I think everybody's kind of come, not everybody, but a lot of us have kind of come full circle. And the way that, there were probably cousins or aunts and uncles or sisters and brothers that you didn't talk to during that time because you had differences of opinion. And now possibly like our family was just torn apart. All my cousins and big Catholic
Mhm.
family, and um, but then this year at the family reunion, everybody was together, and there was no talk of politics. And it was funny because I was one of the more liberals, and then my cousin, who's very, very conservative. I mean, we're just sitting there laughing and having a great time, and
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, this is what it's all about.
right,
Come together,
right.
yeah, yeah,
It's not about, and I'm hoping, I'm feeling that, because my family's pretty Republican.
yeah,
I mean, I grew up Republican
sure,
in my household, but it was not the Republicans that they are today.
no,
But still, people grabbed onto it and started repeating like, um, sound bites, which I'm not saying just they did it. I was doing it from my side, so
sure,
we're
sure,
mouthing sound bites back and forth. and we're not enjoying the food at the table that we're all sharing, that kind of thing. So we're all the same at the core. We all want to, see our families be happy and successful.
Sure.
And so I think we're getting back to that place.
I think so too. I see that circle coming around, and we may not agree with everything that our loved ones agree with, but there is still love there.
Even
And
though they're wrong.
yeah, there's that. I've got a saying, don't you love it when family makes you look normal? So
Yeah.
anyway, but there are times when you know, we weren't speaking to each other, and there was so many hurt feelings. And now it's just like water under the bridge. Give me a
Yeah.
break. And but we'd never been inundated either with all of the media that was coming at us. And a lot of that was not true media. That was, it wasn't the news. It was like you said, sound bites that were
Yeah.
coming at us that
Right.
were not, you know, probably not American. I'll just say that.
Okay, we can say
Oh,
that.
I don't like that one.
Yeah. It's and I think we are coming, to, rounding the bend as a people seeing, and it's just not the US, but there's so many others. If we would just realize that Mother Earth could take care of everybody on the planet, as long as we stop like putting poison out there, poisoning the water, our soil, so that we can kill the bugs, so that we could grow more um, fruits and vegetables. I'm like, oh my gosh. I went to this squirrel moment. I went to this, I don't know what it was, a little kids fair thing or whatever. And this entomologist, bug guy,
Oh, yeah.
had all these dead and live bugs on display. And the they were so beautiful, huge, big, and people were, some little kids were going, ew, and others were like in amazement at these.
Yeah.
And I took some pictures. I'll shove them up on my community page, but they were gorgeous. And yet, let's spray Roundup on them and get rid of them. And so as soon as we start figuring that out, which I think we are, I don't know if we're going to realize it in our lifetime, but we're getting to that place where that we can take care of everybody, no matter what.
We
We don't
really
have to
can.
have people um, wanting food. There doesn't need to be food insecurities, housing insecurities. We
Yeah.
can deal with all that.
We really can once we pull together. And
Yeah,
and and everybody does want that for their family. I mean, that's the most important thing. We wanna see our children prosper and their children,
right.
and so many people are worried about their kids. And, I remember being pregnant and somebody saying, an older woman coming to a luncheon and saying, "Oh, I'd never have a child in these days." I'm like, 8 months pregnant out to here.
Yeah. And did you go, well, you're just a crazy cat lady, aren't you?
No, but somebody gave her a dirty look and she goes, "Oh, pardon me."
Yeah. I mean, how rude is that? You're out to here.
Yeah.
I'd never have a kid these days. Yeah,
Well,
well,
and people are still saying that, and
of
and they'll
course.
always say it, right? They probably said that to, Mary. So, who
Yeah.
knows? But, but yeah, things are looking up, I think, and we're gonna get this. I
That,
mean,
that was so funny what you just said. They probably said that to Mary. So I'm sorry because I interrupted you, but I flashed in on that and I'm going, oh, you're going to have that child? Oh, no,
and it's
don't have
stable.
that one.
With you're riding on a donkey?
Oh, come on now.
Right.
Well, you think
Yeah.
people are going to come up and like give him gold and myrrh and stuff?
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah. Who do you think you are? Yeah, it's really interesting, isn't it? But really, then that's a whole nother ball game. The kids that are coming in these days, so they are so aware and so sensitive. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm a well, I'm not a crazy cat lady, although I have the hair for it. But I, we we have no quadrupeds in right now. That's going to change very soon, I'm
oh,
sure. Um, and it's important to have those, I feel, not having that responsibility is freeing in that you can tap into all this. If you don't have kids to take care of, then you can be really free to go out on a journey and be quiet for a week and
yeah.
just silent and be in that meditative state. But I think with the kids today, and I'm hoping this is true, is that they will be able to manage that time and their responsibilities of raising a family, having a job, and their quiet time better than we can.
They certainly seem to. They certainly seem to be coming in with a different set of values.
Yeah,
I think ours was that consumer driven society that we're kind of like, okay, I'm going to get a car, I'm going to get a house, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. My kids are going to go to this school. And, I thought, oh, my kids are going to college. They're going to be in fraternities and sororities. And heck, one of them was in India and the other one, he was just um, doing everything online.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, you have these constructs of what the world is going to look like. But I like that you said that about how freeing it can be and use your creative energy for a different purpose because you can be so creative. I mean, that creative energy of whether you're using it to have kids or animals and that, or whether you're using it creatively to create something in this world differently, like an energy, perhaps like
yeah.
none of vipassana and being quiet, being silent for a week is huge.
It's
And
huge and hard to do. That's why a lot of indigenous they would go on a vision quest where it's like you can't do anything but because you're lost.
yeah,
They send you out and they drop you somewhere and they go, we'll come get you later. You have no idea. I mean, you're just out there. I'm like, wow. I was thinking of doing that and I go, I don't know. I don't know if I'd make it back. It
I'm
would
sure
be,
you would.
I don't know.
Oh,
Would
it's
they give me potato chips? Would they leave me with a bag of potato chips
uh,
or any kind of food? Or
right.
yeah.
Some hot dogs or something that'll last.
And I wonder too with the kids growing up today if they're going to get away from, and I think they are, if they're going to get away from the gaming and the online stuff. It feels like they are, but it also feels like there's some that are still really attached to it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna get really interesting. Like, the gaming was kind of at the start of it, but I feel like, the AI is coming in, and AI is gonna be something that they won't think twice about using, and that this is a part of, how they just push the buttons and get everything where it's
Yeah,
supposed to be. Um, and and AI can be such an interesting thing to use. I mean, we're at such a golden age with science and the arts. So, it's just all
hey,
handed to him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about that yesterday on how it's going to be that we are going to be half AI, half human. And I go, huh, okay. And my wife was getting all upset. And I go, well, then we are. Let's figure it out and see how it is. And if you don't want to be, then, right now we're at a place where we can change it. I don't know about her and I, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much, which is
Yeah, I'm not scared of it. So I'm also a Chopra teacher, Deepak Chopra,
oh
and I do a lot of stuff with them. And Deepak has an AI, digital Deepak that he has trained, and so does Barack Obama, by the way. A lot of people are doing this, and they're going in and training their AI into these studios, and and these beings will last not into an eternity, perhaps, but when they're gone, these beings keep um, processing data, so they will keep on and on and on.
all
It's
right.
I know, right? It's amazing. Anyway, but that said, you could go in and get all sorts of information from
Yeah,
the next Einstein or,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
So since you went to metaphysical school, you probably can explain this. What does it mean when your left ear starts a low vibrational hum when somebody says something weird like, oh, yeah, Deepak and Obama have an AI person?
That your team's coming in to tell you.
This ear just started going. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I might be cloned. I think I
Yeah,
might have an implant.
yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that left ear thing, man. That receivership, right?
Oh, is
Um,
that it?
I think so. I think that's when you're receiving from your guides and you're getting information in, or something resonates. I know so I had Reverend Saul, he was my crystal shaman teacher, and he walked out of his body about 4 months ago. That's another story at the Red Lobster. So anyway, but
Wait a minute. He walked out of his body at the Red Lobster at the
that's where
restaurant.
he passed. Yeah.
At the restaurant.
Yep. At the
Oh,
restaurant.
wow. Okay.
He asked the woman that he loved if she was happy, and she said, "Yes, are you happy?" And he said, "Yes, I'm very happy." And then he was gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he was also in his 80s, everybody, and not great health. Anyway, but he used to always say that
Had nothing to do with eating at Red Lobster a lot,
not
did
a thing, not a thing, entertainment only. So,
it?
but he used to always say when your left nostril starts to drip or your left eye starts watering, that's your co-pilot coming in. And so,
All right. I'll have to pay attention to my left nostril more. But that left ear thing, so, you said, yeah, you're getting some download from your guides. So we are at an interesting date today,
yeah, 9-9.
998. What have you been thinking about that you hadn't been, that is resurfacing? Let me ask you that.
Okay. Last week, I lead a meditation Monday through Friday in the mornings on
Those are
YouTube.
great, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're
It's a lot of
really, really
chat.
good.
It's a lot of chat because, like we said, the people there are amazing. I mean, what
Yeah,
they
but
have to say.
it's like going into somebody's living room and, hey, everybody, get your tea. Everybody good? Just having a little chit chat, and then you drop into space. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. But we were working with portals last week, and kind of what I was getting with these portals is not only were we traveling with them, but we could manipulate time and space when we were in them. So we could create what we wanted with that
Yeah.
energy. And like some people would paint them, some people would weave them, and some people would program them like a keyboard. So it's
Oh,
just like I feel like that's where we're headed. That sounds kind of
mm,
AI, doesn't it? But
yeah,
I feel like that's where we're headed with that. And so this portal coming in this week, I feel like we kind of hedged that to bring in what we want to start manifesting.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
really think that this is kind of the end. The 9, the end.
Yep.
So we are finishing up, and that's why I had that sword of Michael all week too, because I was letting go of a lot of old stuff that I thought,
Yeah.
girl, you don't have any of that in your head anymore.
Yeah. I was trying to let go of some of that stuff, and I called on Archangel Michael, and I said,
Hmm.
"Hey, dude, can you help me out? Can you cut some?" And he goes, "I don't have my sword." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Well, I lent it to Terry, and she won't give it back." I'm like, "Ah, so can you give it back so other people can use it, please?"
Sorry. What can I say?
I think he's
Yeah.
got. He should have extras. That's what I told him. I said,
Right.
"Yeah, how come you don't have extras?"
Yeah. No doubt.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm creating more swords for Saint Michael so that he's got enough.
Thank you.
Um, so I love the 9-9, the double ending energy of that, because that's, it's just not one. It's just not one level of energy. We're doubling it. We're like really letting go of a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and then the 8, the creation, and it doesn't feel like, it feels like it's still a racetrack, uh, demolition derby sometimes with this figure 8, but it's us letting go of the old stuff to manifest something new. I've been getting a lot of um, getting back in touch with um, my galactic awarenesses and family that
Yeah.
are, there's, for me, I have so many different guides that, I focus sometimes, or they will say pay attention over here, and then some will say pay attention over here. And lately I've been going, hey, I need to pay attention to my galactic side more. So there's just something really huge coming around the bend.
Yeah.
Um, and I've been saying it for a while, but it's like loud in my left ear.
Yeah. Yeah. Your co-pilot's letting you know.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so who do you go to with that? Like, do you have any particular planetary group or species that you interact with, or is it all different ones, or your dragons, or
No, not through dragons. There's a council of beings. I think, I don't
oh
get names for them a lot. I
yeah,
don't. Um, I ask them. I said, do you need me to? Can you give me a name? And they go, well, you can't pronounce it anyway. I go, well, try me. And then I go, okay, you're right.
right,
I'm
yeah,
not going to pronounce it. So, um, but the way that I envision them are very tall, bluish beings that are creator energies that, I get to sit at the table sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I think that we are all creators.
Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, you created that room and rearranged it. And so it's just what level of creator um, we want to believe we're at. And I think this ending is letting go of the limitations of, oh, maybe I can't create an AI world. Well, maybe you can create an AI world. And can you put, I was thinking about this today, even before we started talking about AI and creating worlds, but I was going, why can't we create a world? And if we can, what would we put in that world? And then would it really start to exist? And we
Wow.
go, well, it won't really start to exist. And I'm having a conversation with myself. Why not? Because we can't create worlds, but what if we can and we just did? And it's still going on, like Barack Obama's AI guy or
Right.
Deepak's AI guy, and we just created it, and here it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be
That's
careful what you wish for.
right. That's so interesting. And that brings up that infinite potential that we all have. And, it's beat into our head that we don't, and we can't, and we won't. But, but really, and that's that number 8. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, infinite potential.
yeah,
We've all got it, and it's so exciting. Um, and we're just kind of changing our story, aren't we?
yeah,
And as we change it, the whole world changes,
yeah.
or our perception of it.
Right, right. And so you and I grew up in the Catholic crib,
Yeah,
and that was so hard for me to let go of
yeah,
because it was so ingrained since till I was like 17 years old. And it
yeah,
was these teachings of don't go outside the box, stay in our control. And so, no, you can't be that. That's for up
yeah,
there.
yeah.
We can tap into that. You can't.
Right. That's for everybody on the altar. Yeah,
Yeah,
but not you.
yeah,
Yeah, right? Yeah. And not for women either. I mean, though I had some incredible nuns that taught me growing up, and they were powerful. Um, but but yeah, we're not
How
given that.
many how many rulers were broken over your knuckles? How many?
None. I will say that. But Father
Those
Murphy,
nuns, those nuns that did none of that damage to you.
they went after the boys, Danny.
I
I don't know
know.
why, but they really did. They were mean to the boys, but they didn't do anything to us girls but yell at us.
Thank you for speaking the truth. Those nuns were mean to the boys.
They were. They were. I know Father Murphy used to come in and he would carry in his black leather gloves. I mean, how rude is that?
Whoa.
And he'd hit you over the head with them. Only the boys, if you had a D or an F. So, yeah,
No,
not very nice.
not very.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So interesting about this creation type thing. I don't know. I'm fascinated by it because I think we we are creating as we even in this community as more and more of us come together in these chats and in this awareness, we get to create people getting along on the planet.
Yeah. That's huge. Um, I love that you said that because I feel like we've created a space here.
Hmm.
Linda, you, Debbie, all these people have created this space, and then we're just keeping it moving. But also, if our perception of the world changes, then the world changes as we see it.
Yeah.
So perhaps
Mm.
perhaps there'll be two different worlds after a while. I kind of look at, because some people aren't ready to change their perception.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And that's okay. They're where they're supposed to be, and they still love their families. So, you know, I'm sure. And anyway, they're where they're supposed to be, and they're learning.
Right.
No
And I
question.
think the role for us is, how do we not um, fall into that defensive energy when we're in their space, and they start putting their reality of what they think is going on, and it's I'm just, it's just the negative. I just think of what that the former guy keeps saying, especially these days. He's becoming more and more unhinged, and I go, nobody, that doesn't happen. But there's still some people that believe that when they send their kids off to school, they're going to come back, and they're going to be operated on. And that, I'm like, nobody believes that. Well, yeah,
Yeah, they
some,
do.
they do.
Certainly
Uh,
they do. Yeah,
they
that's
do.
their world.
I know some people, and
Yeah.
when they start talking to me about that, I tend to want to get, like, I get triggered, and I want to go, wait, what's, and so
Yeah.
how do we stay in that higher vibration when somebody comes in so low that it's kind of offensive to us? It feels offensive,
It,
you
it's
know?
it's tough, isn't it? So I've got the sword if anybody wants to call me. you know.
Don't call on Michael, call on Terry. She's
Yeah.
Michael's assistant right now.
Well, seriously though, it is really hard to have boundaries. And I heard of or somebody saying a couple of weeks ago, and this is a weird thing to say, but um, we have to have compassion, but we
Mhm.
can't care. Like we
Say that
can't.
again?
We have to have compassion, but we cannot care about the outcome
Yes.
for them. You know, and really, if you're in presence and witnessing awareness, then you're watching everything happen, and you can watch it, but and have compassion for them, but not care about the outcome of what
Right.
happens for them.
Yeah.
And that's a weird, man, that's a weird esoteric thing.
Okay. I'm not, okay.
It's like, no, I like it. I want to use it, but for my constructed brain at
Yeah.
times to think it, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So I keep saying that over and over in my head. I have compassion.
Right. I think I have an easier time with that. I
Yeah,
think.
good for
Um,
you.
well, and I may be just fooling myself too. It's hard to say sometimes,
Yeah,
but I can be fairly detached on a lot of things. People go,
yeah,
well, I go, it's not my deal.
yeah,
It's their deal. It's not mine. It's not hurting me. And I get a lot of pushback from my Republican friends about certain things, and I go, that has nothing to do with me. I don't have kids, so they're not. I'm not sending them to school, and they're not coming back as artificial intelligence.
yeah. Right.
Well, they kind of are, but that's not my kids that are coming back with this artificial intelligence. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so but I do question that. Going, shouldn't I care? And go, but it's not. I have other things to care about.
there are so many other things to care about, aren't there?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The trees, the birds, crystals. I mean, really, there's and caring about people that are houseless and no food, and there's all sorts of things on the planet. But if we care about all of them, all our energy gets used up in that. But if we have compassion, we can really focus on changing the story.
Mm-hmm. And I also think too that just focusing on one thing instead of all these other things that are, we have that ability to focus on many, many, many things, but in our level of awareness right now, for me, it's so much easier to focus on one thing, put a lot of attention to that, and then let it marinate in that higher vibrational intention as I walk
Yeah.
away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does. Yeah, to kind of well, you can do a lot of different things, but maybe not all of them well. Or me, excuse me, my co-pilot's coming in here. Um, it's you can we can it's funny because there's in spirituality, there's so many interesting things. And it is like a smorgasbord to go out there and grab at everything. Um, but it's like you go into one particular part and it's so very interesting, but it all leads to something else, doesn't it? But it all leads to one thing in the end, in that
Mhm.
infinite awareness or creator or universal energy or God or goddess energy,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, love, Ananda. Um, it all comes there in the end, but gosh, it's fun getting there. So
This is what I talk to Gail about a lot because Dr. Gail, and I mean you've been with her a
I
lot.
love Dr. Gal. Yeah.
She is so great.
Yeah.
Um, and when I first met her, she was going, I was thinking I was crazy. That's what she was saying. And, and we talked about being crazy with all this stuff. But this crazy is without drugs, and the trips are phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, we get to go into other worlds. We get to go down into the bottom of the ocean and discover that it's actually like it's actually space in the ocean, which, well, we
Yeah.
shouldn't get me started on that. Um, but I mean, going in and hanging out with the elementals, it's like, really? It's so much fun. And so I'm happy being that crazy.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And um what a great thing to do. Like we talk a lot of on the channel about flying your freak flag. Like what brings you joy and wonder,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to the maybe two different worlds that may be coming up. Because I've heard that before. I certainly can see that happening where you have higher vibrational beings, which I think is just, thinking just of love and compassion and gratitude, creating things versus the anger, the fear, the hurt, the hate, the tearing down.
Yeah.
How how do you can you imagine how that plays out? Is it two separate realities? Is it two separate worlds that we will create?
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh my gosh! No, I'm asking you because I'm like, just because I'm struggling with trying to conceptualize that. I need Deepak's AI app
Right?
Help
Yeah.
me out here.
I
Or
I
maybe
do
it's Obama's.
I do feel like, we just went through a time jump. We had a time shift, right? When Kamala took over. And that was the time that a lot of us saw coming up. I know I don't do politics, but everybody saw that coming up, right? That was gonna happen in a couple of years. And and the time shifted because I think that there's more light workers on the planet.
Mhm.
So things are changing. I feel like I don't know if that's gonna be kind of like that time shift, that there's gonna be a time shift that, um, we'll be living a life that is different and probably quieter and more sense of community in some respects, and that these others are going to stay in that zone that they wanna be in, and that fear, and still learning through that and having that, awareness, and perhaps be on another planet or a different time shift. So
Mm.
it's almost like a different time and space that kind of veers off from each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it could also mean that parts of the world break off into different territories. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I can, if I get out there and go way, way woo woo,
yeah,
I can feel, yet maybe we create two different world realities to that. I go, okay, because we were just talking about letting go of the chains that keep us from creating these worlds.
yeah,
I also think that it could be where we are just not um, trying to push back so hard on how they are doing something, and they can't affect us that much. So right now they're affecting us a lot with their draconian laws and rules. But if those get changed,
yeah,
where they can't, where women have a right to choose, we have the right to whatever health care we want. We don't have food insecurities, housing insecurities. Um, we allow people of all colors and nationalities to interact together,
yeah.
and we don't have
Coexist.
people trying to stop them at the border or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they're just doing their thing, and it's not affecting us. I don't know.
That okay, I like that. I like that. That makes so much more sense. And it also, I really like that idea. And also it's like, um, it's hard to fight love. And that's the thing. When we were blue and they were red, yeah, you can butt heads. But when you're
Yeah,
love and you're not,
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm working on that one.
Danny, thank you. That sets my mind at ease. That makes a lot more sense. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the my guide's talking in the left ear.
Yeah. Your co-pilot.
My co-pilot. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for that one. It does make sense because what you were saying about time shifts and time speeding up, and when Kamala took over, and the incredible job that she did bringing everybody in the circle, in the camp together to
Yeah.
support her. And it was all about the happy warrior. And I know some people don't like the warrior term.
Yeah.
I call us, when she wasn't where she is today, I called us light warriors instead of light workers, because it was really hard to stay in the light a few months ago. It was really hard. And
Yeah.
so you couldn't just be a worker, in my point of view because I was struggling. I had to be a warrior to stay in that higher vibration. And I don't know how well I did. However, some days, but now it's just easier.
It
It's
is so
easier
much
to be
easier.
there.
Yeah. I call those King Kong days. It's like when you get out of the water and you weigh 30,000 pounds, you know, it's like just, they were really heavy days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody was having migraines, and still people are having migraines from the solar flares, but
Yeah.
there's been a lot going on with that.
People are
Yeah.
having migraines in Missouri with Missouri politics. I keep going back there. I keep going. Hey,
It's
let me ask
horrible.
you. So we have two different worlds, two different levels. Um, how does this work with Taylor Swift and the Mahomes, Bridget Mahomes?
Thank you for bringing that up. I call that goddess energy. So, and this is a perfect metaphor for people being able to come together. That obviously they're on completely different sides politically, and yet they're there for the team.
I think they're there for the male energy.
Well, yeah, hubba, hubba. There is that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now the Mahomes woman, she may be there for the paycheck, but the Swift woman,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the guy's there for the paycheck. So I mean, it balances out.
Right? Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just making joke. I'll probably get in trouble for that. But
Oh, they've been together since high school. Yeah.
yeah,
This
yeah.
Yeah.
Not Taylor and the other guy, Kelsey.
Um, well, um, Bridget and Patrick have been together
Yeah,
since high school, and then
since high
Taylor
school.
and Kelsey, yeah. And, she's also a soccer player. She was not professional, but she was a college soccer player, and she owns a
Mm,
soccer team.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
built a stadium, the first women's stadium, sports stadium built in the United States,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah,
the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
So, yeah,
And that's the other shift, in which
yeah.
we're running out of time here. um, but the other shift is the divine feminine and how strong that's coming through.
Yeah.
These crazy cat ladies are taking over. I'm telling you.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, it's about time.
So I work a lot with the divine feminine energy with Mother Earth and
Hmm.
Father Sky. And you probably do too as a
Yeah,
shaman. And but every time I bring in Mother Earth, Father Sky is right there holding space for her. Like she's giving birth and he is right there helping with everything.
yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a huge balance.
And in your father sky, is he telling her how to give birth? Or does he just go, I'll just be here. I'm just gonna hold the space.
Yeah, I think he's got the push present and, anything she wants, chocolate, flowers, he's taking good care of her. Massage.
Father Sky bringing chocolate down. All right, you want to pull it? We're going to get going.
Okay.
Do you want to pull a card at the
Yeah,
end?
I'd love
For
to.
the end, if you have some hanging out
I
there.
just so happen to have about 5 decks right in front of
Five
me.
dash. You need more.
I've got more over here, but I tell you,
Well, I
there's
want
so
to
many to
thank
have,
you. I
aren't
want to
there?
thank you for allowing me in your space. This has been just great.
Oh,
You know,
I really had fun. You're like talking to family, the family I like. No, I love all my family. So I pulled number 24 and it's seek seclusion.
ooh,
So we're kind of going inward here. And I love that there's a man and a woman. So it's that divine feminine and the masculine together. But
mm,
we're going inward.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Going inward, going inward. So going inward as we're expanding and opening up to this whole new thing. It's weird how you have pluses and minuses. You got to have them both.
It's like a vortex in there coming in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you're like just moving inward as far as that all the stuff out here that doesn't matter. That we used to look at and say, but what about that? And what about that? Oh, I can't because of that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
All right. And I got this is a little one. Love with an open heart.
Oh, she's so beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the whites of her eyes are blue.
Oh.
What does that say? She might be a Lemurian.
That's what I'm thinking too, right?
Yeah.
She's special. Especial.
Yes. So
Beautiful.
this is you were talking about this in your show that you did on your channel with the high heart chakra.
Yeah. That is, for me, that's totally our sense of divinity right there. The chakra between your throat chakra and your heart chakra, the high heart chakra. And it's like, it's where we all interconnect, but also where we create. And I feel like this is where the angels come in and that angelic light. But also, if you've got somebody that's hurt or somebody that is having a really hard time that you love, you can go in through the back of that high heart chakra and send pink light, rose colored light. And it's kind of a beautiful thing. And just watch and you'll probably get a phone call in a few days.
I'm going to try that. Let me see. How many people do I know? I need more fingers. You know, we're in such a time. You know, and just I think that's good for even us to use on ourselves as we cut away some of the things. You have the sword, some of us don't.
I'll have a talk with Michael.
Yeah.
Actually, Metatron's around a lot right now because he is really connected to that high heart chakra too. So,
and he's
big.
He's the top dog, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy. Yeah, I think so. He's like, I was shocked when I first saw him. And I was like, whoa, you're big. But he was dressed in like pink and purple and aquamarine. And I'm like, okay, I know. He was very giving and soft in that manner. So he was just, he's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's for another time where we can get into that.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Teri. This has been a joy. Just a joy.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun, Danny. And I want you to come on my channel, please.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you do lives.
I do lives.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
You just said do.
I know.
Okay. On that note, yeah. Okay. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Teri. Subscribe to Teri Holding Your Space. I'll put your link down below.
Okay. Thanks so much,
all right.
Danny.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.